Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, it's Tracy Daviero. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast where we teach you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. Today we're talking about what exactly a ridiculously good virtual assistant is. I'm sure you're wondering what my bar is for VAs, and it's high. When you are charging for a service, you want to be the best that you can be. In this episode, I'm going to share 10 tips that I think every VA should strive for to become ridiculously good at what they do. Now, today's quote is from Paulo Coelho, who's a writer and lyricist. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. Don't you love that? It's so true. When we level ourselves up, everything else starts to come up too. I get that image of that photo that you may have seen online of one hand helping another hand up. And I think that when we strive to be better, we attract better, we produce better. And I don't know, I just really like the word better in that particular quote. So thanks, Paulo Coelho, for our quote today. Being a VA is so much more than just doing the tasks that a client needs done. Now, there are VAs who are task takers, and I know that's okay for some, but the take charge VAs are the ones that help the client feel more supported, but they also get more done and they make more money and they become more in demand. Making clients feel more support cannot be understated. We are support professionals, and this is what we are peddling to everybody. So we need to focus on the support. We need to focus on the help. Our clients need help because the tasks that we do for them are outside of their area of expertise. Things like admin, marketing, money, tech. These things usually don't come easily to our clients. Their area of brilliance, which is what they're selling to their clients, is something different. And so the admin piece or the back end pieces is what they are seeking help with. And that's our area of expertise. And they need help with all of these things in order for their business to succeed. And when their business succeeds, so does your VA business. But they depend on us to know our role. They're not hiring a VA to micromanage or to project manage or anything like that. A ridiculously good VA will be able to manage their own workload. You don't need to be a project manager for your clients, but you need to manage your own workload and be able to work virtually, get the things you need from them, and turn around the tasks and get everything done in due time and on budget, right? But they depend on us to know our role and to take care of the pieces that they simply can't, whether they don't have time, they don't have the knowledge, or they just are not able to do them. To be ridiculously good at being a VA, you need to put all of your focus on taking responsibility for providing high level services and support. Now, when I say high level, that doesn't mean specializing or charging crazy rates. You can charge whatever you want to charge and still be a ridiculously good VA. It means being the best VA that you can, and that takes work. It takes a little bit of knowledge and it takes a little bit of skill, but it also takes work. You need to be able to do things a certain way to level up what it is that you are providing for your clients. Being the best VA, however, also allows you to make more money because you will stand out from the crowd and you're going to attract or seek out higher level clients. Today, I'm going to share 10 things that you need to do well or better if you're already doing them so your clients will rave about you and never want you to leave them. Doesn't that sound great? Let's go. Number one, be a serious business owner. A lot of VAs get into the VA industry because they want a side hustle, and that's okay. You can be a serious business owner with a side hustle. Many of us get into it full time because we want to replace a corporate job or we want to stay home if we are already at home on maternity leave or otherwise. And I think the key for that is being a serious business owner. When you take your business seriously, you will also have a better of respect for your client's business as well. So you know that you need to do all of those things that I mentioned previously, the admin, the marketing, the tech, the money, all of those things you need to do well in your own business so that you are growing a sustainable business. You will be in business for a long time. I don't know about you, but when I started my business, it wasn't supposed to just be something that was going to take place for a few months. I was wanting to do this. My incentive for building my business was that I did not want to have another boss again for the rest of my life. So you're building a business in that case that you want to be sustainable. So it is important to be a serious business owner, because when you are working with clients, especially if you're targeting or looking for clients who are high level, making a lot of money, they are serious business owners. They are paying to get support in a certain area of their business or multiple areas of their business, and you need to be doing the same. So, being a serious business owner, number one, to be a ridiculously good VA. Number two, be invested in their business. And what I mean by that is understand their client cycle, understand all the cycles in their business and how you fit into them. You want to be able to see where they get their clients, how they work with them, all of the things that are necessary for them to continue operating their business, because the better their business does, the better your business does, depending on what you're able to support them with. But be invested in it. And the main thing about investing is not, I don't use the word investing here in terms of money, but be interested in it and learn about it and ask them questions about it, particularly when you're working with a target market. And I targeted business coaches whenever I was doing VA work. When I was talking to business coaches, I was sincerely interested in what it was that they were doing. What were they learning? What were the trends in their business? What were they being taught to do from their coaches or their strategic advisors or anything like that? And how could I help them with that? But also, how could I help myself? How could I create services that would make sense for them, not just today, but as they continue to grow or build or change their business? So being invested in their business, I think, is number two, really, really important thing to do when you're trying to level up. Be wise about time. Time management is something that virtual assistants talk about a lot. And one of the things that I have noticed, particularly in just the last few years, is about work pace. And work pace to me is something that we don't need to work quickly, but I've noticed that a lot of people coming from corporate jobs or corporate positions aren't as focused on time as maybe some of us who've been in the VA industry for a long time. And what I mean by that is you're not just your time management, but your billing, right? So, when you are tasked with doing something, or when you're telling a client that you're going to be able to do something for them, you want to do that in a reasonable amount of time. And in a corporate job, I remember, even though it was a very long time ago, I remember not really having like a loose deadline for something, it's due on Thursday or something, but never having to work against a clock to get something done. And when we're talking about working as a VA, every single minute that the client pays for, or every single minute that we work, the client pays for. And I'm not going to get into a big discussion about billing by the minute, because you'll know, if you've ever heard me talk before, you'll know that I don't agree with that. But what I'm talking about is be time wise. So understand that you need to get things done in a timely fashion. And you want to be able to offer a service to a client. For instance, if you're offering research. I'll just give you a quick example. If you're offering research, don't do 8 hours of research for somebody because you think you're doing a good job at 8 hours of research. You want to compartmentalize that. Do an hour and a half. Do it as focused as you can, and then get back to the client. Report back to the client. Here's what I found in an hour and a half. How much more do you want me to do on this? That's being time wise, even though the project may not be done. It's about focusing on the client and their money, right? Their budget that is being used up by you doing something that is typically an open-ended project. So being time wise is something that I think is really important. It's not about working quickly. It's about working smart and just being time wise. I don't know why I keep saying it, but that's the best way that I can describe it for you. Number four is be organized. There's nothing that clients love more than understanding that you're taking care of the details. And a lot of us don't have standards in terms of the way we organize things. One of the things I see VAs do a lot is sort of let the client dictate how we're going to organize things for them. And it's okay to bring that in and work in a way that makes sense for the client, but you should be the one who dictates how you organize your work. And if that means that, you use a project management system, or you work simply by email, whatever your system is, you're the one who has to be in charge of all the details. You have to be the one who's making sure everything gets done. So you need to make sure that the system works for you. What the client needs to be able to do is sort of two things. They need to be able to provide the pieces to you that you need, whether that's, blog posts or client information, whatever it is. And they also need to see progress. And so being organized in a project management system, sometimes that's very helpful because the client can peek in on things. But if the client can't peek in on things, you want to make sure that you are keeping them up to date on what's going on. But essentially, to be ridiculously good, you want to make sure that you're holding all the balls and that you're making sure that everything is getting done, that everybody's contributing to the pieces that they need to contribute, and that things are getting done on time. Being organized is about you making sure that you're handling all of those things. Number five, be responsive. This is one thing that I hear from clients so often, that their VAs ghost them or their communication is bad. I don't actually have communication in this list of 10 things, which is kind of funny, but I guess it sort of fits into a lot of different areas or a lot of different points. So being responsive, what do I mean by that? Not to jump when your clients need something or ask for something. It's actually exactly the opposite of that. Being responsive simply means to be courteous and let them know that you received their communication or their request or whatever it is. And so you want to make sure that you are responding to them so that they don't have to wonder what is happening with their project. Like I say, all the clients want to know is the status of the project and what they need to do in order to contribute to it. That's essentially their role, and you should be taking care of most of the other details. Now, that's not to say if there's a team that, it's just you and the client and you don't need to be the project manager, but for the work that you're doing, you need to be able to be responsive and let everybody know, what the client or everybody, what the status is, and that you received something and when you're going to work on it. And I've talked about this in another episode, that it's simply communication. It's all about communication and responsivity. Is that a word? I don't know. We'll call it a word for today. So, but you need to be able to tell them, hi, Jane, I received this request. This looks great. I need these two pieces before I can get started on it. If you can send them to me tomorrow, that would be appreciated. I'm going to work on this on Thursday. That's responsive. So they know what you got. They know that you received their request. They know what they need, and they know what your turnaround is going to be. When you keep your clients informed without them having to ask you, what's the status of this? What's the status of this? What's the status of that? You are up leveling yourself. Number six, practice excellent follow through. I think essentially what I mean by this is do what you say you're going to do. So if you say you're going to get that thing done by Thursday, make sure you get that thing done by Thursday. Make sure you can get it done by Wednesday if you can. You don't always want to under promise and over deliver. Is that the saying? Why am I messing up my sayings? It's okay. Under promise and over deliver. That's not always necessary. I know a lot of people will give you that advice, but I think that once you start to manage your schedule and you start to manage a number of clients, you'll understand sort of the ebb and flow of how your workday shakes out, and that not everything that a client sends you is urgent to do. So being able to use your schedule in that way is really, really important. But the follow through piece is so essential, because when you tell somebody that you're going to get something done, whether it's a deadline or whether it's just, coming up with information about something, or as I say, the research piece, if you have to get some information back to a client, or if you're going to make a couple of phone calls to collect some overdue payments, anything like that, you want to make sure that you're keeping on top of those things. You're doing what you said you would do, because that is one of the other things that clients are always concerned about, is that they send tasks to VAs and they have a fairly strict deadline around things. And what happens if something goes wrong and it doesn't get done? So practice excellent follow through. Number seven, be resourceful. I think that one of the things that happens early on in our VA business is a lot of VAs, a lot of us, I'll say, because I've made all these mistakes, guys. I know that I'm on number seven and I didn't say this, but I've made all of these mistakes. And this is why I know that doing all of these things better will up level you. They will make you a ridiculously good VA. So be resourceful. The one thing that a lot of VAs do is start to ask questions that we don't know about, right? There's a lot of things that we don't know as we get our business started. So we start to rely on our colleagues, we start to rely on other people. We ask a lot of questions and we leave it up to other people to answer our questions. And one of the things that will absolutely make you stand out is to make your own decisions. Do a little bit of research about whatever it is that you want. And I'll give you an example of this in a moment. Do a little bit of research and then make your decision and be confident with your decision, because if your decision is incorrect, all you have to do is change it. You just have to change the decision to something else. Like I said about being a serious business owner, you want to make sure that you're taking responsibility for the things that you're doing in your own business and for your clients. So my example is, if you're looking for a project management system, for instance, don't go to your VA colleagues and say, what's the best project management system that I should be using in my business? That is the wrong question. What you want to do is you want to do your research first, and possibly you can get some names from colleagues that could be a good start. Do your own research. Honestly, if you Google things, you will be amazed by what comes up. So you go to Google and you punch in which is the best CRM system or project management system for me, and you'll get a whole bunch of stuff. Read through the comparables, read through, people who are comparing one to another, read reviews, read those kinds of things, make a few notes, and then go to your colleagues and say, I'm looking at a CRM system or a project management system. I'm looking at these two. Is anybody using one of these two? I'd like to have a chat with you to talk about pros and cons, right? Because here's the thing is all of those systems, every single system that is out there has different features. A lot of them have basic features and they're similar, but many of them have, one or two things that are just slightly different from their competition. Of course, that's what we all strive to do in our business, is be a little bit different, stand out, be the reason, have that little thing in there that is the reason that people will choose you over somebody else. And these services are exactly the same. So what you want to do is understand that maybe another VA uses that feature and you don't necessarily need to use that feature in your business. None of our businesses are exactly the same. They can be similar. We do the same things, but we're different people. We have different personalities. We have different work styles. We have different work ethics, and we have different tech abilities. We have different minds and the way, our minds process things. So it's very, very important to use what works for you. And sometimes that's a little trial and error. But being resourceful means going and doing the research yourself and then making an informed decision from there. This is actually, I could probably put this as number one, because it's such a big problem with VAs that we just settle on something that someone else tells us, or worse yet, we say, what's the best free CRM or project management system? And free is often good when you're starting out. I'm all about cheap or free when you're starting out if you don't need to pay for things. But when you're looking at building your business, you need to look, it's like dressing for the job that you want. You need to be able to look and say, okay, I need to use this program to facilitate the work I'm doing for my clients. And so I need to make sure that I can invest the $40 a month in it. So this is how I need to build my business in order to include that expense. So being resourceful, very, very important, cannot be understated. Number eight, show integrity. I think that a lot of the VAs I know are high integrity. I'm so proud of our industry and love talking to a lot of the VAs that I talk to, because we do come from a support background. We're helpful people. It's just in our nature. It's what we do. So, but owning up to mistakes and making sure that we are producing quality work and billing correctly and talking to clients, our clients maybe, and representing the client's business in the way that they expect. All of these things fall into integrity. And so I know that it is a really important piece of being a ridiculously good VA. So I want to make sure that integrity is on this list, even though I don't see it as a massive problem with a lot of VAs, except that sometimes whenever a mistake happens, we get embarrassed or upset and we don't know what to do and we run the other direction, right? But showing integrity basically just means standing behind what it is that you say you can do. At least to me, it does. And going ahead and showcasing that all the time. Number 9 is simply grow. Grow your business. And that's not to say that you need to be a $1 million VA. You'll hear me say it in a lot of the trainings that I do. I'm not interested in being a $1 million VA. I never was. I want to replace a corporate salary so I don't have to work outside the home. I don't want to have to go and get a job. So I need to earn as much as I would in a job so that I can continue doing what I want to do. And many VAs that I talk to are exactly the same, but you still need to grow your business. You need to grow your mind. So you need to take trainings that are relevant to what you're doing. You need to stay on top of trends and new things and all that type of thing. And of course, that's not usually a problem with VAs. We're perpetual learners. I know I am. I absolutely love to learn. But it's about implementing things. So whatever you're learning, you want to be able to implement in your business. Maybe you're going to change the service offerings that you offer to your clients. I know for me, I started with finance, I moved into basic internet marketing, and then I started focusing on virtual events. And that is really, it's a huge transition from one to the other, but it's what you love to do, and you'll learn about the things that you love to do, and you'll develop relationships with different levels of clients and different kinds of clients, and you can move. I started working with literary clients, believe it or not, and really enjoyed it because I love writing and edit. I love all things English and all things words. And but that was just not the market for me. I had to move into a more viable market, which was business coaches, which incidentally I got connected to through one of my literary contacts. But I was able to grow my business because I took that step. So growing is going to be something that's really important to you as a ridiculously good VA, because you'll get into the right audiences where you can find those fantastic clients. And number 10 is focus on the big picture. And I think that a lot of these things that I've talked about today are really a part of that. Look to see where you want your business to be, and always focus on your business for sure. But look at your business big picture. What do you want it to be? How do you want your perfect day to go? I know that a lot of us get into doing admin work, and then we feel a year in or a couple of years in, we feel chained to our computers because we're doing customer service and we have to be available all day, every day, and checking email and responding to people all day, every day. And so going to Jimmy's soccer game or a field trip in the afternoon on a Friday is something that is a real struggle for us. We can't get out of the office because we need to be available for our clients. So we start to dream about doing, offering services that don't need to be done during the 9 to 5. So focus on your big picture. What is that? What does that look like? For me, I actually started thinking that I didn't want to have to be torn away from my computer. But as my business grew, I decided, you know what I want to do? I just want to work a regular business day, which is what I do now. And well, I have for many years. I wanted to work 9 to 5. And then I wanted my nights and weekends and holidays and everything like that off, just like everybody else. And if you're working around your kid's schedule or your family schedule or anything like that, and you're leaving during the day, for me, I always had to make up that time at night. So then I was not just leaving during the day, but then I was trying to make up, I was working when my family was off as well. So it's a bit of a challenging thing. So focus on your big picture. What does your big picture look like? And also the big picture of your clients. I've mentioned it a little bit already, how you want to look to see what trends are in their industry, what they're learning, what they need to do, and how maybe you can change the support or tailor the support that you're offering them to, better suit them and to attract more clients that are just like them. So those are my 10 tips. I think following all 10 of them will help you up level your VA business. I don't actually think that too many of them are that difficult to implement, because I'm all about implementing what you learn. When you learn something, try to put it into practice in your business as soon as you can, because the more otherwise you will have lost the learning, right? I know for me, I love to learn, so if I learn something new, it kind of boots out that thing that I just learned last week. So we want to make sure that we're implementing something in our business. And if you can't implement all 10 of these things at once, again, I don't think they're that challenging. for the most part anyway. Just think about how you can be better at what you do. Your clients are going to feel more supported when you do. You will get more done. You will help them get more done. You're going to attract better clients. There's no question. If you are doing all of these things and standing out, you are going to be able to attract better clients. You will pursue better clients. Why? Because you're a serious business owner invested in their business and you are focusing on your big picture. You're being resourceful. You're doing all of those things. You're going to come into contact with higher level business owners. You're going to make more money and you're going to be in demand, which is really all any of us want. We want people calling us. We don't want to be pursuing clients. And that actually does happen when you're really good at what you do. So you will be in demand. And that's what I call being ridiculously good. So I hope these 10 tips have helped you. I would love to hear what you are doing already and just drop me a line. I think that would be great. That's all I've got for you this week. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.